Hello guys, hi, welcome back to Physical Health Education class with Miss Anna Para. But in our physical health education class, we've been looking at games and sports. We also looked at nutrition, that means our source of food, our classes of food, the importance of a balanced diet, and what happens when you don't eat a balanced diet. Now, in today's class, we are going to be talking about disease. So we are going to learn what a disease is, and we are also going to learn that there's a difference between sickness and illness, and we are going to find out what the difference is. Okay? So, like I said earlier on, we're going to learn what is a disease and what is the difference between sickness and illness. Are you ready to start? Very good. So let's start. What is a disease? A disease is an unhealthy state where something bad happens to the body or mind. I repeat that. A disease is an unhealthy state where something happens to the body or the mind. It's a condition that affects the normal functioning of the body and the mind. So take note, two things. Disease is an unhealthy state. Something bad happens to your body, something bad happens to your mind. And because something bad has happened to your body and your mind cannot function properly. Again, something bad has happened to your body and your mind, and because of that, your body and mind they can't do the things that you're supposed to do. The way they're supposed to function, they can't function that way. The things you're supposed to do, they can't do those things anymore because they've been affected by what we call a disease. So, a disease affects your body and your mind, and it causes your body and your mind to not function properly. I believe that is as simple as ABC. Very good. So, let's proceed. Now, what causes disease? Now, we know that disease is something bad that happens to our body and our mind, and it makes our body and mind not to function properly. So, what causes disease? Disease is caused by many things, okay? Disease it can be caused by so many things. It can be caused by the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the environments we live in, the environments we work in. Okay, so these things can cause disease. If you eat a bad food or an old food or a food that has been exposed, spoiled food, it can cause diseases. Then, if you live in an environment with poor sanitation, an unhealthy environment, an environment that smells, an environment that invites flies, mosquitoes thrive in that environment. Trust me, you are bound to, in fact, you are bound to be affected by one disease or the other. And also, you can be living a healthy lifestyle. You can be eating good food, drinking clean water, your environment can be clean, it can be healthy, but you can still end up with one or two kind of diseases. And that's because some people are born with diseases. Now, this kind of disease that people are born with are what we refer to as genetic diseases. So now, a genetic disease is a kind of disease that is passed down from parents to child. So you inherit those kind of diseases. So even if you are living a healthy lifestyle, you might still end up with it because your mom has it, your dad has it, so you are bound to have that kind of diseases. So it's not your fault, but it's just something that you inherited from your mom and from your dad. So this kind of diseases are called genetic diseases. Okay, genetic diseases are those diseases that we inherit from our parents. Genetic diseases are those diseases that we inherit from our parents. Simple as ABC. Remember on that earlier on in the video, I said that we have a difference between sickness and illness. I know that some of us are just finding out about that. We believe that sickness and illness they mean the same thing. So you can say I'm sick or you can say I'm ill, and you think you're talking about the same thing, but there is a difference. So in today's class, we're going to find out what is the difference between sickness and illness. Now, sickness is a temporary condition. Keyword temporary. Sickness is a temporary condition where a person feels unwell or uncomfortable. It can be caused by food poisoning, it can be caused by infection, it can be caused by motion sickness. So, sickness is short term. It's something that just lasts for a short period. It just lasts for a while. And after a while, your body returns back to normal. Your mind returns back to normal. So it's not something that stays long. So any kind of condition or any kind of unhealthy state that doesn't stay long is what we refer to as sickness. So it can be caused by food poisoning. Now, what do I mean by food poisoning? Example of sickness: having stomach ache because you ate something bad. You drank unclean water, you ate a bad food. You are definitely bound to have a stomach ache. But that stomach ache is not going to last forever. It's just something that's going to go on for just a short while. And after a few minutes or even a few hours, you are relieved. That is an example of a sickness. You're not going to have that stomach ache forever. Another example of sickness is feeling nauseous because you're on a boat ride. Some people, anytime they're on a boat ride or even in a car, they tend to feel nauseous. They're not comfortable. They feel like vomiting. And it's going to last as long as they're on the boat ride or in the car ride. But the moment they get off that boat, the moment they get off the car, their body returns back to normal. They won't feel nauseous anymore. That is an example of sickness. So sickness doesn't last for a long time. It's just something that goes on just for a short while, and after a short while, you feel better, you feel all right. That is sickness. So, example once again is your stomach ache and motion sickness. Okay, I believe with this explanation, you should be able to give me other examples of sickness. So, I want to hear about your other examples of sickness in the comment section. I've given you mine, stomach ache, and I've given you morning sickness, motion sickness. So, I would like to see in the comment section your own ideas or your own examples of sickness. So, with that explanation, I think we can move on to illness now. Now, illness is the opposite of sickness. Sickness is a short term condition, while illness, on the other hand, is a long term condition. It affects your physical health and it affects your mental health. So, illness is something that goes on for a very long time. It's something that you're going to be treating for a long time. Have you seen that there's a difference? So you can't just casually say, I'm sick, I'm ill, and think you are saying the same thing. We have learned the key difference between illness and sickness. Sickness is for a short while illness is for a long time. Now, causes of illness can be due to genetics. Like I said earlier on, genetics are simply things that you inherit, things that are passed down from your parents down to you. So sometimes you can inherit a kind of disease from your parents, such as diabetes, cancer. Okay. So illness can be caused by genetics, what you receive from your parents. It can be caused by your lifestyle choices. Like somebody who smokes, every day you're always smoking, you're bound to have what? Lung cancer. It's an illness you're going to be treating for a very, very, very long time. Then your environmental factor, the kind of environment you live in, also affects your body. It can also cause one kind of illness or the other. So examples of illness, you have diabetes, you have asthma, you have depression. Like I said, disease doesn't just affect your body, it also affects your mind. So depression is a disease of the mind. You feel sad even though good things are happening around you. There are happy moments all over. There are things worth rejoicing over. But you're not feeling it. You're just down. You're feeling hopeless. You're sad about it. It's a disease of your mind and it can go on for a long time if it's not treated. Okay, so you have diabetes, whereby your body there is too much sugar. The sugar level in your body is too high, so it brings about what we call diabetes, and it's something that you'll be treating for a very, very, very long time. And you have asthma. Asthma just simply means shortness of breath. So you need assistant breathing, and then you see some people with this their respiratory aid. So once in a while they have to, just to get their respiratory organ back on track. Okay, so it's something that you're going to have to be treating for a very, very long time. So we've learned the key difference between sickness and illness. That sickness is temporary. That means sickness only lasts for a short period, while illness lasts for a long period. Sickness is mild. That means sickness is nothing serious. After a while, you feel better. After a while, you feel all right. But illness is serious. It's severe. It's critical. Sickness may not require medical attention. When you are sick, you don't necessarily have to see a doctor. When you have stomach ache, you might not necessarily go to see a doctor to tell you what's going on. Okay, sometimes you just need to sit for a while and then your body returns back to normal. The stomach ache disappears. But for illness, you have to go and see a doctor. Okay? Illness requires medical attention. You have to go and see a doctor. A doctor has to diagnose you, a doctor has to treat you. So you can see that there's a difference between sickness and illness. So once again, let's go over everything we have learned in today's class. We've looked at disease and we said that disease is an unhealthy state that affects the functioning of your body and your mind. And we've learned that there's a difference between sickness and illness. And the differences are sickness is for a short while, illness is for a long time. Sickness is not serious, it's just mild. But illness is severe, it's really, really serious. For sickness, you do not have to go and see a doctor, but for illness, you definitely have to go and see a doctor for diagnosis and treatment. So I believe that henceforth you can differentiate between sickness and illness. I believe you can also give me a couple more examples of sickness and illness. So I would like to see your examples of sickness and illness in the comment section. Okay, I'll be looking forward to seeing your responses. So thank you so much for learning with me. It's so good to have you here. I look forward to seeing you in the next class where we're also going to be talking about disease, but this time around we'll be learning about the difference between communicable disease and non-communicable disease. So I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Bye.